Welcome back to the 2025 plan, and today I want to share something a little bit differently. I know we've been very training, nutrition heavy at the moment, and that's really because that's 80% of it. But today I want to share the stuff that I don't usually share in these videos, and that's kind of icing on the top. And to do so, it makes sense to start things chronologically. So one of the first things I do when I get up, and this is not some ridiculous morning routine thing, is red light therapy. The main reason I do it as soon as I get up is because I tend to do it whilst I make my coffee. This kind of gives me that 15 to 20 minutes that you need for the red light therapy, but I'm kind of doing something at the same time. I do this every single day in winter because it's dark when you get up, so standing in front of it kind of feels like it's standing in front of the sun. When it's summer and the weather's a little bit better, I tend to prefer the actual thing. Speaking of the good stuff, the coffee, I don't wait 90 minutes or anything like that. I also hydrate before you caffeinate. Drink half a litre of water, because chuck in 5 to 10 grams of creatine, a little bit of magnesium, a little bit of salt, and yeah, that's basically the start of the day. Today's fridge buffet breakfast is some leftover chicken bacon risotto, and I've got another leftover chicken souvlaki and some salad. Yeah, nice, simple, carbs, fat, some veg. Easy. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I do a bunch of different daily routines that make me better than everyone else. Ultimately, I spend a lot of the day sitting to do that. I just don't tend to share that in these videos. It's really not particularly interesting, me sat on a sofa doing a little bit of laptop work. It's just what everyone does these days. Apart from you don't do any work. That's not to say I'm not a big fan of the daily habit things like putting in some stretching, doing it in between to break up your work. I think all of that is super useful, but ultimately it's just about actually doing it. Let me tell you about a couple of things that I have been playing with kind of on this daily habit topic. And that is daily isometrics, but this is just around tendon health. So I was recommended this research by Dr. Keith Barr, and it was actually featured on a YouTube channel by Emil Abrahamson. Essentially it involves frequent isometric loading to encourage increased collagen, protein, and other proteins that aid in connective tissue regeneration and healing on a more frequent basis than you can with just training, which you might get that stimulus like 3 or 4 times per week. The method is very simple. You want to hold something for 10 seconds. It doesn't need to be maximal effort. You just need to be able to create some tension. You repeat it once a minute for 10 minutes. Done. So I've got something for overhead pressing, just in that shoulder, bicep tendon, traps, external rotators. I'm doing something for the elbows because they just get abused with bodyweight training, that rotational element of the wrists. I'm trying to basically bend or break a stick. And then finally a wall sit, primarily for the patellar tendon in regards to making those knees feel nice and good for squats. And I repeat these all together round and round, which takes about a minute, and then I repeat them for 10 minutes. I've only been doing this for a couple of weeks now, so I can't really comment on it. I don't usually share things until I've tested them properly on the channel. As we know, ultimately, the best way to make no progress is to get injured. So really, this year, the goal is to have 0 injuries and just keep progressively loading towards those goals. This seems to be the current lunch of choices. Just some Greek yogurt with some whey protein, frozen berries, a couple of nuts, some dark chocolate, and yeah, lunch kind of ticks all of those boxes before getting some training in. Speaking of training, I've got some updates for you, obviously, to share how things have gone and how the current plan has adapted this month and kind of going forward. As always, full details of that will be linked in the description down below if you want to go check it out, as I'm kind of openly sharing my current experimentation with training. Jump into it. This has been a real good month for training, and it finally feels like I'm moving from more of a preparatory sort of phase to actually doing the things that I want to do. And really the focus going forward is now speed and specificity. I'm back to using one of my favorite methods when it comes to developing bodyweight skills, and that is EMOM. So every minute on the minute, I'm using this for handstand push-ups, basically increase the density of training. So the goal here is to kind of do like 10 to 20 reps in as short duration as possible. Every minute on the minute is a great place to start. I found this works really well with maybe a skill that you can do a few reps of, and you're just trying to get more reps in a total session. Next is speed. I think I'm just feeling the fact that I'm like 5 kilos heavier at the moment with the bodyweight stuff. So I'm just trying to add in some faster sort of feeling movements rather than a lot of the slower, higher rep stuff, which I have been focused on the past few months. So one of that is grip and rip chins. So just focus on basically trying to pull as quickly as possible into that top position. And then the second one is front lever pulls. Same sort of thing here, trying to pull nice and powerfully into that top position and then overloading on the movement on the way down. speed of movement, or certainly the intent of trying to move as fast as possible, is a really, really great way of increasing your total force capacity. At the end of the day, force equals mass times acceleration. The final part of the upper body focus is different angles. So I realized that a lot of my training, especially pushing, has been done in a very tucked hand position, and this was causing a little bit of irritation to the front of the shoulder, kind of that bicep tendon. With playing about in a session, I was going with some wide grips and Bulgarian push-ups, some wide grip pike push-ups, and it just felt way better. So I actually added in this kind of wide grip for a lot of different movements in this training session. Wide pike push-ups, almost looking like bad form pike push-ups. There is pec flies, so again, trying to move into that abducted, that wide arm position. Then in the second upper body, there's some Bulgarian ring push-ups, and there's Bulgarian ring rows, as well as adding in some rotator cuff work, again in this abducted arm position. I think this naturally happens when you do weightlifting, because you have dumbbells or you have barbells, and it kind of changes the angle of the elbows. But when you have the hands fixed on the floor like you do with a lot of bodyweight pushing exercises, it doesn't necessarily happen naturally. So intentionally bringing those sort of elements in. I want to quickly mention the sponsor of today's video, which is Vivo Barefoot, my shoe of choice, and has been since, I don't know, 7+ years now. I love the extra feel that these shoes give me, especially with kind of the lower body training, enable me to really think about where in the foot that I'm pressing out of. That's been the thing that I've been working on with the squat, and Vivos have been essential for that. So if you want to grab yourself a pair, then you can use this code, save yourself some money and help to support the channel. Otherwise, let's jump back to training. And then finally, the lower body, I managed to hit the interim target, that 120 kilos for 5 reps. When I started this particular training effort, I tested out 120 kilos for a conservative 1 rep max at the time. I was kind of looking uncomfortable about adding that much load, and we've just done it for 5 reps. And I think there was probably 1 or 2 in the tank. So I'm really, really happy with how the squat is feeling. The main change to squats is the use of wave loading. So rather than just hitting a single rep range, I'm now doing this in waves, so 7, 5, 3, and the idea is to create potentiation in the nervous system. So by having that high effort of 3 reps, when we come back to 7, the second wave, we should be able to do more on each of those lifts. I've used this in the past and got very good results with it, so I'm interested to use it again and again to see how far we can push that squat. Other than that, accessories for the quads, lower back, and then also I'm a big fan of this particular abdominal exercise where you anchor in the legs and kind of reach with the hands up. It feels a lot, not only in the abdominals, but also in the hip flexors. I think quite a good one for strengthening them in relation to that squat position as well. But that's basically it. Otherwise, ticking along in the right directions. As always, if you want the full details, just check out the plan. It's all free to download. You can find it on the website. And I thought I may as well round out this full day of eating with dinner. So tonight is Friday steak night. We've got some ribeye steak, got some potatoes, and then some more of that salad from earlier. Whilst I was cooking this, I also meal prepped some protein sources for the week, which were some chicken Slovakia. So apparently putting something on a stick just makes it taste better. And then these are perfect for having that protein source available easily throughout the week. And here we are back on the sofa doing some laptop work. I'm actually just editing this video right now. What I would love to know is just if you have any thoughts yourself about the stuff that you like to do on a daily basis, which you think are pivotal to your performance success in this sort of stuff. Let me know in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear it. And the comments are part of the reason that I love making vlogs on these videos. So other than that, hit that thumbs up button, help to support the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy. Have a strong week. Peace.